Hello and welcome to my unboxing and first look at the Space Marine Thunderhawk from Forge World. A little bit of a disclaimer at the start of the video. I already own a Space Marine Thunderhawk and a Stormbird and a couple of other flyers. So this particular Thunderhawk has been gifted to me by a very, very kind person. I'm not going to mention his name, but you know who you are. You gifted me this in 2021 and you made my year. I've never experienced such a huge act of generosity. I know you love the channel, I know you support it in other ways, so I was even more humbled that you'd even buy me a model of this size. I guess you've watched a lot of videos and you understand that this is my favourite miniature out of all of the miniatures I own. I absolutely loved that Thunderhawk more than any of the Titans, because for me as a child growing up, I always used to look at pictures of Thunderhawks, and that was the big thing back then. And I've met the designer, Darren, in the flesh, and he's a really top bloke. And I know that when the refresh was announced, there were a couple of people that were disheartened that it wasn't in plastic and that it was in resin. But I welcome that because I was incredibly excited to see what they'd come up with and how they'd improved it. And oh boy, it's one of the best kits that Forge World make. It's an absolute joy to put together, and I can't wait to go through like a step-by-step build guide with you. So I hope you enjoy the upcoming journey, and that's all down to this one fella. So if he does make himself known in the comments below, please, give his comment a like and praise, I guess. And if he doesn't, that's perfectly up to him. So without further ado then, let's unbox Super Saiyan's favourite miniature in the whole of Warhammer 40,000. Like the Thunderhawk, which has to be tough and rugged, we've also brought along a tough and rugged knife. And always be careful sort of cutting the top, just because sometimes they're packed quite close and you don't want to scratch your lovely new red Titan box. Got a number of airbags. So if you're not familiar, this is a typical Forge World Titan box. There's a lot of miniatures that are sort of £300 or so that come in this box. The Cerastus Knights don't. They come in like a white box and they're £200. But things like the Mastodon, which is about 300, and this Thunderhawk, Stormbird, I think comes in 2. The Warlord comes in 2. The Reaver and the Warhounds, they come in this. They're really fantastic boxes actually. Oh, the Asterius and the Porphyrion also come in 1. But they're really lovely boxes. I find them incredibly useful to put all my unpainted miniatures in. And yeah, you just got to take these tabs off first. And there she is, nicely packed, looking great. And we'll have a little look at the internals. So we've got one bag, which is the missiles, another bag, the aerofoils and the top canopy. You've got the thrusters and the landing gear. You've got another one with some missiles and doors. Got another one here, which is the front and the, I think, top wing, tail wing, and then you've got some thrusters, one of the other doors, and the smaller jet thrusters. You've got the fuselage, that looks quite nice, nice sculpt, not really any issues there. This is all flash, so you can pop that and then finger it, or do whatever with it really. Then you've got this, that looks lovely. Yeah, really nice. Really, really nice. Lots of detail there in the venting. I never had any issues with my previous one. This one is looking better, I think. But that's the top. This is one of the wings. Look how chunky that is. Now I did have some issues with slippage along the edges, but this looks all right. That's where the landing gear goes. That's where the missiles go. It's quite big. That's, you know, one wing. Interesting that this piece actually consists of less parts than the plastic Thunderhawk. The plastic one has these two as two pieces, and this is a separate piece, and this is a separate piece, whereas in the resin it's just all one. So there you go. And you've got the other wing. Yeah, it's lovely. I mean, it's not slimy at all, but there is releasing agent on it. So you will, even with any resin kit you get from Forge World, even if you're touching it and things and you think, oh yeah, it's not slimy or shiny or you know, greasy at all, always, please, for the love of the Emperor, put it in soak as you normally would, because there's nothing worse than getting a kit and spraying it and no paint applying to it. You've got this underside, I think, where the thrusters will go. Yes. And then I've just noticed a breakage right here. I don't know if you can see that, but one of the things has already snapped off, which is highly, highly annoying, and I will be sending them an email straight away. I mean, if it's in here, oh, it might be. Yes, it is in here. I think that goes on there. That's just a fix. I can fix that and I can clean it up with green stuff and things. I've just got to be careful that I don't lose this, and it's even more difficult to do that with these bags, because the new Forge World bags have the breathable holes at the bottom. Yeah, which don't make much sense to me, because, well, it's great that they've got holes in anyway, of course, but I'd much rather have the holes near the top. The bottom line is they've got holes in, so parts like that part would fall out. But other than that breakage, it's quite nice. And that breakage off there, you know, it's not really worth calling them up for a replacement for this whole part. But I'm sure if I did, they wouldn't hesitate to send me a brand new Thunderhawk. No, they probably wouldn't hesitate to send me a replacement one of these. And that goes the same for any Forge World model. If you're not happy with a part at all and it can't be salvageable, just give them an email or a call, or use the web chat. And yeah, I can't praise them enough for their customer service that I've experienced. I know this unboxing is a bit about face, and normally I like to have a look at the instruction book, but we'll have a look at that now and then we'll go through the bags. So this was checked by KR on the 4th of October. So that's relatively new, only about a month old. And then this is the instruction guide. It is not a toy. If you're under 15, it's not suitable for you. You need to be over 15 to attempt one of these. They're all the pieces. There's 63 specific parts, and some of those parts have multiples of them. So we're looking at 49 plus 63, 112 pieces in total for this one, and this is how it goes together. They get you to work out the front ramp, which is an odd one to work out first. I powered through it, but I would strongly suggest you magnetize. There's enough space in here to magnetize the sides and the door, and have it so that you can open it and close it. They even say don't open, but it won't stay closed, no matter how, you know, the trickery and things you work with these ramp hinges. You really do need to magnetize the front ramp. Then they work on the rear of the fuselage and the interior, because it's got 2 floors, the Thunderhawk. Then the wings and the aerofoils, or the aileron, which I think I actually called it an aileron. Then the canards, the las cannons. Now, attack wings can be moved into either stowed or attack position. That is a lie. The cake is a lie. They won't without your intervention. I've magnetised mine, so I can have mine in a couple of positions, and I'll show you how to do that with this one. You've got the turbo laser destructor. I don't know why anybody would want the battle cannon. It's useless, so I'm pleased that it's only got that. You've got the heavy bolters, sponsons, you've got the landing gear. It's important to spend a lot of time on the landing gear because especially if you're going to have it sat, you know, for display. I kind of want to have my landing gear up for this one and it flying, but it means I'm going to have to get a base and a thick rod to go into it. Then you've got the Hellstrike missiles and the heavy bolter turrets. And then the crew, which I would suggest you paint outside of it, but it's completely up to you. You've got a specific kind of pilot head for them as well. So there you go, that's the Thunderhawk Gunship instruction manual. Let's have a look at all of these parts. So let's have a look at the other bags that you can find with the Thunderhawk. Not a huge number of bags, you know, compared to the Acastus Knight Asterius. I've got 3 bags there and 3 bags there. Okay, as we've just found out, the Thunderhawk has a number of parts that are loose in the box, and also 6 bags, which is a similar number of bags as the Acastus Knight Asterius, which kind of goes to show you just how much of a project those big knights are. So let's go through these bags one at a time. So we've got the largest one right here with the largest pieces, and contains some of the other parts of the fuselage. We've got the cockpit there with the 2 seats, and a load of buttons and consoles, all kinds of things going on. They're really, really nice. You've got these holes here because that is how you get up to the cockpit in the Thunderhawk. Very limited space. And there's the ladders that go up either side. Maybe you could have a Space Marine each at the top there as well. Yeah, usually the pilot and co-pilot, or pilot and gunner. Remember, it does have a machine spirit, a bit like a Land Raider. So yeah, I think that does a lot of the work. Then you've got the front nose, very iconic of the Thunderhawk. I know I said earlier that some of the pieces were quite dry. These are a bit more slimier because of the releasing agent. Lots of rivets all around. Lovely piece. You know, look how thick the armour is. It's very, very thick. Don't think that's wonky, I think it's fine, but I'll be drilling in the sides of those to put magnets in. Then I've got this, the tail wing, I think it goes, yeah, that way. And then there'll be a piece there, which I think is in the next box set, next bag, sorry. And then you've got this intake, I think it is, and that sits underneath the Thunderhawk. So yeah, some pretty big chunky pieces of this kit. So that's bag 1. This bag has the cockpit canopy. That just goes on like so. It goes on a little bit further up, yeah, you get a clear canopy there. Of course, you're going to need to paint, you know, the armour frame and leave these clear. That's what I'm going to do with mine anyway. Yeah, you've got some buttons and things underneath there. You've got the 2 aerofoils, or the attack wings, where the las cannons will go on. You can build them and slot them in so that they move, depending on the position of the wings. Yeah, I'm still going to magnetise these so I can have them into 2 different positions. Hardest bits for these is the slippage inside the frames. It's not too bad, the outside isn't too bad either, but there you go. So they're the sort of the attack wings or foils. Should really be keeping these It's all separate in their corresponding bags. This is the front assault ramp. Loads of detail there, lovely. You've got some lights, careful not to trip over the lights as you're running out, but yeah, very, very nice front assault ramp door. Is it the largest front assault ramp that they do? Possibly. And then you've got this, which is a separator inside, inside the fuselage, with some doors, some shutter doors. Nice command console. You've got, I guess, open and close there. Maybe a Vox system. Pretty cool. So that's that bag. Got this big bag here. Another big one. Straight away I can see the turbo laser. Cheeky turbo laser. This is a Titan grade weapon, and they put it on Thunderhawks, which is insane. Definitely more powerful than anything that the Stormbird has on it, which means it's great for like strafing runs, I guess. Because it's a laser weapon, of course, you're going to need direct line of sight and nothing in between it, unlike missiles and things. But yeah, really, really nice. Lots of detail on this. It's so cool seeing like a one-barreled version, because usually we're used to seeing the double-barreled of Warhounds, but important note to make, this has got way more detail on it than the Titan turbo lasers. You've got this, I want to say it's like a bit of an intake, and also thruster. I think the thruster goes on that end, I'd like to say. But yeah, this is the underside thruster. There's three main ones on the Thunderhawk. Lots of rivets, look how many rivets there are. And cabling, I think it's mirrored either side. But yeah, you're going to see a lot of duplicate kind of engineering parts to this. It lends itself to be built pretty quickly, especially compared to a Stormbird, which is one of the reasons why they kind of took it out of service, because it's so costly and harder to replace, take longer to build than these Thunderhawks, and that's why they have replaced them. But they're the feet, the landing feet, huge there on the bottom left and right, and then this is the front one with some lights there. There's lights on all of them. So that's the big one at the front, and then you've got this, which I think holds the turbo laser in place. So this is the mounting, and then you've got some exhaust and things. I guess this holds the whole system for the turbo laser. You've got this part for the tail wing, one of the flaps I think it is, and then these two hold the attack wings in place. You know, where the las cannons are. They should be opposite of each other. So that's those. Quite nice. Plenty of detail. So that's that bag. And then we've got this bag full of quite small parts. I can see a load of missiles there. These are the missiles. So you get 6 of them, so 3 on each side. I'm not going to show you each of them because they're all going to be the same, but quite chunky missiles. 4 thrusters per missile. They're going to cause a lot of damage. You've got these, which are part of the kind of air brakes, the flaps at the back that will help it in atmosphere. You can actually construct this so that you can pull them in and out. You've got to be a bit careful though, because if you detach them or whatever, they will be a pain to put back. Speaking of which, here are the air brakes for the Thunderhawk. They're going to be a pain to get rid of the flash in between, but it's really important to do that because you don't want flash still left on your model when you go to paint it and spray it. This is one of the, well, we've got all 4 of the heavy bolters here. There are 2 side-sponsored twin-linked heavy bolters and 2 heavy bolter turrets. So these will be for the turrets. They'll go together something like that. and then they'll be on the underside, on the tip of each wing. So you get 2 heavy bolter turrets so far. I think this will be, I want to say on the tip or the tail wing. It's on one of the end of the wings anyway. These are the Rhino doors. They are exactly the same size as the Rhino doors. Unfortunately, Forge World don't really make any. Unfortunately, Forge World don't make as many chapter-specific Rhino doors as they used to, which is a right shame. But if you do have any hanging around, then they will work, and you can use them instead. This is the landing gear struts, all 3 of them, big hefty hydraulic pistons, I'd say, and then these attach either side of something. Totally forgotten, but yeah. Bag number 4. Bag number 5. It's another big bag. This is a lot of parts in here, and it has your 3 thrusters. It's important to find them straight away. They're all exactly the same. They're engineered to work in atmosphere and in the void. I think they can just shut them off and then use them as void travel if you look at the lore and look at the information. But they're all exactly the same. There's got cabling, and there's cabling on the outside, and they're beautifully detailed. And that's the 3 thrusters. This is the other door opposite from the assault ramp. So there's 2. You've got the front assault ramp, and then you've got this one at the back on the first floor. You've also got 2 access points either side, which are the Rhino doors. So technically you've got 5 points of entry and exit towards the front of the Thunderhawk. You haven't got anything right at the back, so this is probably your closest exit if the front assault ramp is blocked for any reason. But I think that's great that you know, Thunderhawks can travel about and have this door open, and then jump pack infantry can just jump out the back if they're taking a lot of fire from the front, or if the front and sides have been damaged and there's no way for Space Marines or bikes or whatever to travel out of there. They can always use this sort of back door, I guess. This is one of the canards, so one of the front smaller wings that go to the front, and they go, you know, opposite way, I think. Lovely detail on those, fantastic. You've got the I'd say jet engines, the intake engines, the intake propellers, the intake jets. Yeah, they're very reminiscent of Thunderhawks as well. You've got the one of the sets of ladders. There's 2 sets of ladders that lead into the cockpit, of course. I believe they go like that, and that is the way you get into there. You've got the thrusters. You've got a lot of thrusters, 4, 8, 12, 16 little thrusters in total. They help. All of those firing will aid it, you know, lift off the ground, vertical takeoff, and all that jazz. Yeah, these must be pretty powerful, but yeah, there are 16 of them. Then you've got the las cannons themselves, really nice long las cannons. It's great that a lot of, well, just a lot of flyers from the Imperium have las cannons as like their main weapons. I mean, you've got the Voss pattern lightning flyer that has las cannons. You've got the Xiphon interceptor that also has them. You've got these, which I think go on the wings, and these as well. They're the they're the flaps. And then you've got more parts of the landing gear, I think. You've also got these, which are the banks for the power for the las cannons, I think. This is just, you know, detaches to one of those las cannons. It's just a gate. And then you've got the 2 Space Marines. They're both exactly the same, no differences there. They just don't have their power plants. So that's a big bag of pieces. And then we have the final bag, which have the attachments for the sponsons for the heavy bolters at the nose of the Thunderhawk. We have these attachments for the turrets of a wing-mounted heavy bolter turrets. It's interesting that these are moulded onto the resin. Typically in plastic, if you've ever had a Land Raider, that would be a separate piece that you'd glue on. And it's nice that they've done them in resin rather than just, you know, give you parts off plastic. I think with a lot of Forge Worlds, models, they try and give you everything in resin if they can. Also, it means they're not breaking down other kits, which is a bit more time consuming. These are the mountings. You get 6 of them for the missiles. Nice amount of detail, plenty of rivets there. These are the other ends of the mountings for the attack wings. I know this because I've seen these. You get 4 of these in the plastic Thunderhawk set, and that's the most recent one I've had. These are actually the power cells for the attack wing las cannons. I think I made a bit of a mistake just with the last bag, saying that those were, but these are definitely, you can tell that these are power cells for the las cannons. I think with las cannons as well, typically they can fire like forever. It's just the barrel is the thing that warps, so you have to replace the whole las cannon after, you know, thousands of shots. You've got the heavy bolters. They come in a pair, and they are vertically aligned as opposed to the wing-mounted heavy bolter turrets, which are horizontally aligned. Yeah, they changed this. They changed this for this Thunderhawk from the previous model, where you had 4 full rotatable turrets with horizontally aligned heavy bolters. With this one, they just went with vertical for the front. They're still the same things. You've got these, which I think are, I always forget what these are. I think these are to hold the las cannon wings in place. You get these, which are the casings of the heavy bolter side turrets on the front. You get a set of 4 arms, or 2 sets of 2. They're exactly the same. And then you get the flight sticks and 2 different Space Marine heads. This one is really cool. I really like that one. Pilot of the Thunderhawk gets a funky looking helmet. He might even be the gunner, but I want to say he's the pilot. So there you go. That is my unboxing and first look at the Space Marine Thunderhawk. I think it's an incredible set. It is my favourite out of all of them, and I have had quite a few. What do you guys think of the Thunderhawk? Please do put your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor protects.